100 amazing facts around the world.
Cheese is the most stolen food in the world. The opposite sides of the dice always add up to 7. It took over 200,000 years for the world's human population to reach 1 billion, but it only took 200 more years to reach 7 billion. One of our biggest sleep distractions is 24-hour internet access. In 1991, the world's first webcam was created to check the status of a coffee pot at Cambridge University. Heart attacks are more likely to happen on a Monday. Marguerite Norris was the first woman to have her name engraved on the Stanley Cup. A pumping human heart can squirt blood a distance of 30 feet. In 1980s, a man known only as George, who had severe obsessive-compulsive disorder, shot himself in the head in an attempt to commit suicide. Instead of the bullet killing him, it destroyed the part of the brain that was causing the OCD, and he went on to get straight A's in college 5 years later. In the original version of The Little Mermaid by Hans Christian Andersen, Ariel doesn't marry the prince. He actually marries someone else and she dies. On Good Friday in 1930, the BBC announced there is no news, followed by piano music. Only 3 members of the United Nations have failed to ratify the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child: South Sudan, Somalia, and the USA. The world's biggest frog is bigger than the world's smallest antelope. Gymnophoria is the sense that someone is mentally undressing you. While developing the Harry Potter books, J.K. Rowling based Hermione Granger's character on herself when she was 11 years old. At its closest point, the distance between the United States and Russia is 2.4 miles. "In God We Trust" didn't become the official U.S. national motto until 1956. The longest prison sentence was 320,000 years to a man named Gabriel Grandos for failing to deliver over 70,000 letters. The Mac Gangbang, or commonly named the Mac Nasty in the North, is a combination of 2 popular sandwiches found on McDonald's normal menu, the Mac Double and the Spicy Mac Chicken. In 2013, Vietnam unveiled a steel bridge that's shaped like a dragon that literally shoots fire out of its mouth. That's called the Dragon Bridge. Space Jam is the highest-grossing basketball movie of all time. The Cornish for breath is anal. In the 9th century, Ireland was called Scotia and Scotland was known as Albania. Some pigs suffer from mysophobia, the fear of mud. The Turkish for ski is kayak. Dalek is Croatian for faraway thing. Smegma is Latin for detergent. The Afrikaans for astrology is Sterrenwiggelary. New York City is further south than Rome, Italy. Black boxes must be painted orange or bright yellow, but they needn't look like boxes. According to Federal Aviation Administration regulations, the device may come in a variety of shapes, including spheres, cylinders, and domes, so long as it's not too small for investigators to find among the plane's debris. Chinese soldiers stick needles in their shirt collars in order to keep a straight posture during military parades. There is a flower called the chocolate cosmos that smells like chocolate but isn't edible. In March 2013, a man got a tattoo of the word Netflix on his side, for which, after tweeting a picture of it to the company, gave him a free year of service. The strongest beer in the world is called Snake Venom, containing 67.5% alcohol. Asked by a priest, "Do you forgive your enemies?" the dying Spanish General Ramon Blanco y Arenas answered, "No, I don't have any enemies. I've had them all shot." Cockshut is another word for twilight, the time of day when chickens are put to bed. Goldfish don't have a stomach in the sense that humans do. Goldfish digest food as it moves through their intestines and extract nutrients as the food passes through them. Music is one of the few activities in life that utilizes the entire brain. The border between Texas and Oklahoma is 700 miles long, the longest border between any two states. The magma chamber of hot and partly molten rock beneath Yellowstone National Park is large enough to fill the 1,000 cubic mile Grand Canyon 11 times over. The app Candy Crush was making $956,000 a day in its prime. Le Beorphalist is the collection and study of beer bottle labels. In 2011, a man named Richard James Veron robbed a bank for $1 so that he could be sent to jail to receive free medical health care. In 1993, a Chinese man named Hu Songwen was diagnosed with kidney failure. In 1999, after no longer being able to afford the hospital bills, he built his own dialysis machine which kept him alive for another 13 years. In Vanuatu Pidgin, Prince Charles is known as number 1 Pekinini Blong Mrs. Quinn, and a helicopter is a Mixmaster Blong Jesus Christ. If you say the letter socks aloud in English, you will find yourself pronouncing the Spanish for "it is what it is" almost perfectly. Babies cry in the womb. Yuma, Arizona has over 4,000 hours of sunshine per year, making it the sunniest place on the planet. The original oranges from Southeast Asia were a tangerine pomelo hybrid, and they were green. Oranges in warmer regions, such as Vietnam and Thailand, still stay green through maturity. If you wanted to dig a hole straight through the center of the earth and end up in China, you would have to start in Argentina. On Valentine's Day 2014, a group of single men in Shanghai bought every odd-numbered seat for a theater showing of Beijing love story. They did this to prevent couples from sitting together as a show of support for single people. In 1996, DC and Marvel Comics published a crossover series where Wolverine and Batman were made into one character called Dark Claw or Logan Wayne. The reason people traditionally put wedding rings on the left ring finger is because before medical science figured out how the circulatory system functioned, people believed that there was a vein that ran directly from the fourth finger of the left hand to the heart. Arnold Schwarzenegger was paid $15 million in the second Terminator film, where he only said 700 words of dialogue. At a cost-by-word basis, his famous line "Hasta la vista baby" cost over $85,000. Sitting on the lavatory for 8 hours uses the same number of calories as 1 hour's jogging. Paper can only be recycled 6 times. After that, the fibers are too weak to hold together. A newborn kangaroo is small enough to fit in a teaspoon. Bottled water expiration dates are for the bottle, not the water. The plastic will eventually start leaching into the water. In 1950, Diners Club was the first universal credit card that could be used in a variety of places. Here is an insect called the tree lobster, which is almost the size of a human hand. They can only be found in one place, on the huge mountainous remains of an old volcano called Balls Island off the coast of Australia. The first ever modern toilet was created by Thomas Crapper, hence the phrase "to take a crap." Walt Disney was fired from Kansas City Star in 1919 because his editor said that he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. An Indonesian boy named Aldi Rizal began chain smoking when he was just 18 months old and continued smoking over 40 cigarettes a day until he was 5 years old, when he was sent to rehab. Elizabeth Taylor lived to be 79, but she never learned to boil an egg. The filament of the first commercial light bulb, patented by Thomas Edison in 1880, was made of bamboo. Abraham Lincoln was a professional wrestler before he became president. People who drink 3 or more glasses of soda each day have 62% more tooth decay, fillings, and tooth loss than others. Limpet teeth are the strongest natural material known to man. Limpets are small, snail-like creatures. A single spaghetti strand of their teeth material could hold 3,300 pounds. In 1979, actor Paul Newman finished runner-up in the Le Mans 24-hour auto race. There was a goat in Utah named Freckles that was implanted with spider genes as an embryo that is now known as the spider goat. She produces spider silk proteins in her milk, which is used to make biosteel, a material stronger than Kevlar. A man in Wisconsin took a photo containing 3 albino deer in the woods. The chances of this happening is 1 in 79 billion. Barcode scanners actually read the spaces between the black bars, not the black bars themselves. The longest someone has stayed awake continuously is 265 hours, which was in 1964 by a high school student. Randy Gardner had managed to stay awake for 11 days and 25 minutes. The Royal Mail spends £1 million a year on 1 billion red rubber bands. The trap-jaw ant has the fastest bite in the world. Its jaws close 2,300 times faster than a blink of an eye. The average car has about 30,000 parts. 43 buildings in New York City are so big that they have their own zip code. Dogs usually use their right ear when listening to other dogs, but they use their left ear when they hear threatening sounds. The first hybrid human clone was created in November 1998 by Advanced Cell Technology. It was created using SCNTA. Nucleus was taken from a man's leg cell and inserted into a cow's egg from which the nucleus had been removed, and the hybrid cell was cultured and developed into an embryo. Smokers are 4 times more likely to get gray hair in their lives than non-smokers. Futurum.org is a website where you can send e-letters to yourself at any time in the future. When the elephant whisperer Lawrence Anthony died in March of 2012, an entire herd of elephants arrived at his home to mourn him. Nutmeg is illegal in Saudi Arabia because it is hallucinogenic if consumed in large quantities. On June 30, 1998, England lost to Argentina in a World Cup penalty shootout. On that day, and for 2 days afterwards, the number of heart attacks in England increased by 25%. Your ears produce more wax when you're afraid. Since 1994, all dogs are banned from Antarctica because they might introduce diseases that could transfer to the native seals. Andrew Johnson is the only U.S. president who made his own clothes. He had been a tailor's apprentice and opened a tailor shop. He made his own clothes for most of his life. Dolly was a female domestic sheep, and the first mammal cloned from an adult somatic cell, using the process of nuclear transfer. In Japan, there are owl cafes where you can play with live owls while enjoying a drink or meal. Reed Hastings, the founder of Netflix, got the idea to start the site when he received a late fine of $40 on a VHS copy of Apollo 13. Reed also approached Blockbuster in 2005 offering to sell the company for $50 million, which was turned down at the time. Today the company is worth over $20 billion. The word therein contains 10 words without rearranging any letters: the, there, he, in, rain, her, here, air, therein, and herein. 95% of the lead in British Army bullets comes from recycled materials.
World Top 20.
Thanks for watching.
For more videos, please like the video, comment below, and subscribe to the channel.
We wish you a fruitful day ahead.
And remember, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end.